All right, so the mustache, yeah, I got rid of it because that was a no shave November thing. That's it was just for that. I think I kept it maybe. I think I shaved it off the 3rd of December. Yeah, as my calendar say. Calendar says I shaved it off the 5th of December. That would have been Sunday. Ugh. Oh, for once I didn't walk into the room and you were busy strumming the bass because I was running around with my headphones on hoping I could hear you, and I didn't hear any bass playing, so no bass today, huh?
I was still giving commentary and whatnot, like, reminding you that, hey, if a woman's going to be walking through the shot, then it's supposed to be titties. But there were none.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were looking at places to stay. We were trying to see if we were. It's a small town, so the lodging options are limited. But there was a really nice B&B that was. You're getting a whole house for like $130 a night, versus you're getting a small room. And that one place that's in that town, they're just railroading you. Most places have free continental breakfast, right? Some cheap ass eggs, some hard-boiled eggs, right? Usually like some yogurt cups and like some oatmeal packets or something like that, and that's free. Like, no, I think it was $11 per person, so $11, it's $22 per day for 2 adults and for 3 days, so it's like a $66 charge. Part of me wants to show up there during breakfast hours and just see what their idea of an $11 breakfast is, because you can get McDonald's breakfast for 2 for like $10, $12. It's ridiculous.
Not a very good one, but okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just, my point is you shouldn't be charging people that much. But anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Jake.
I'm Drake.
Jake and Drake Show. Yeah, we just seem to be chugging along every other week. But it's been 2 weeks. What you been up to, guy?
No, I was taking a nap, man. And then a message came in. A little around. I don't know. Later than I was expecting.
Oh, you said basically you did say I had 15 minutes. You said 15 minutes before we go live, because you basically said you have 2 hours and blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, well, once I had got my kid to bed, I started working on it, and it appears to be working. I can hear you. I can see the little mic thing moving on the OBS and what have you. So, but yeah, cool beans. So I mean, I was actually early. What time did I message you? I think about an hour and 30 minutes ago, right? Because I. 52 minutes ago. Hour and 30. Yeah, close enough. So Metallica, huh? You're leaving us for Metallica.
Well, they're doing a live stream thing, and my wife and I wanted to watch it.
Who's the Metallica fan? You or your wife?
Both.
Who's the bigger Metallica fan?
Probably me, considering that, I went to. I don't think she's ever been to a Metallica show. I think that's one she hasn't seen. But I was a fan back in the '80s and a little kid. Got to see McD on the Green, and yeah, I got to see him back when they were still good.
So next question is, when did they stop being good?
Black Album, and Justice for All is when they sold out. Black Album was a decent album, but it seemed like they were they were changed to be more palatable for mainstream, and I couldn't even name any of the songs off, like the Load, Reload, and whatever albums after that. I think Load was the last one I actually listened to in its entirety.
So Black Album, that's just the self-titled album, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they haven't been good since 1991.
Pretty close to that. I mean, no, they've been good. The albums haven't. You know, they still put on good performances of their old material, but their newer material I have not been a big fan of. I mean, I listen. I periodically will listen to a couple songs here and there, um, uh, from the newer albums, and I'll like them. So I'm going to actually, you know, give it the old college try and listen to everything and see if they, you know.
Dude, Death Magnetic was a solid album, right? Because what you're saying, I guess, is like they had good singles, just the whole album. It wasn't a complete album like they used to, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
a couple songs off would be decent and whatnot. And I do want to give Rob Trio a better chance, because that dude is a beast. That guy is one of the best bass players in the world, and I've always had a ton of respect for him from back when he was in Suicidal. And they probably should have got him instead of Jason Newkid, and then they wouldn't have pushed out so much.
Now let's see. I'm trying to see.
I think my understanding is a lot of their sound change and the direction they went was due to Jason Newkid wanting to have more influence and stuff in the band.
So I'm looking at albums that you have out because, you know, I'm not as privy to that information as you are, but so they got a live album. Basically, they're doing a live album of a concert they did in Germany in '93. They put out Metallica Blacklist, which I guess Blacklist sounds like a greatest hits album. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, it's the greatest hits covers, basically. They're all cover songs.
Cover songs. Oh, yeah. So the first like 5 tracks are Enter Sandman. You got Weezer, Styles P, Mac DeMarco, The Warning, Sad But True. Dude, I wonder if I honestly wonder if Avenged Sevenfold is on here. I wonder if, let's see who else we got on here. These are all cover songs, right? This is what you said. So, yep. These are a lot of like. Okay. Dude, you know who I would love to have heard do a Metallica cover? I wonder if it does exist. Homeboy from Soundgarden. I think he would have done a good one. You know what I'm talking about, Chris
Cornell, but
yes.
I'm trying to think. I don't think they, if they did it, I don't think they ever recorded one.
Volbeat. I'm looking for notable people. Volbeat did a cover.
I know Ghost did one of them. I think Miley Cyrus did one.
Like who wants to, like, really, like, I don't want to hear a pop artist do a cover of Metallica.
And in general, I agree. I will say Miley Cyrus is growing up, and as much as I kind of despise her persona and her character that she kind of created for her, you know, entertainment and stuff, she is pretty fucking talented as far as singing.
Oh yeah, she was a great singer. She was one of the last ones that came out of Disney that didn't like use the auto-tune feature. You know, she didn't need it. She had a voice. So I'm guessing the last Metallica.
But I really dislike her father. So I've got personal beef with Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm not going to share the personal beef story yet.
Okay.
I do have a personal beef with Billy Ray Cyrus.
So they have Hardwired to Self-Destruct. That was in 2016. There's an album called Lulu. What the fuck is this?
Is that one with Lou Reed?
Lou Reed discography cover.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. Who's Lou Reed?
Velvet Underground.
Oh. Oh, I just looked up a picture of him. I recognize that face. Dude, you know who else would do a great Metallica cover? Richard Cheese. He's that guy that would always do like the
I think he has.
yeah, I know he has, but like he hasn't done like a full cover. He does like a 2-minute cover, right?
Yeah.
He should have been on this Blacklist album. The Big Four Live, another live album, a movie from Mexico. So I really think
The movie that was at the Through the Never.
that's called Orgullo, which is like Orgullo. I think means pride. So pride, passion, and glory. 3 nights in the city of Mexico. So it's Orgullo, Pasión y Gloria, 3 noches en la ciudad
So the movie
de
was
Mexico.
just a live video or live.
I believe so, yeah. And then that was 2009, but then you had Death Magnetic in 2008, Anger in 2003, another S&M album, and you had Reload, Load.
Yeah, Saint Anger was pretty horrible. The S&M one was interesting. I did like the that mix that they had, and actually, even before, I think it was before Death Magnetic when Rob Tria joined the band, I got to see his first show with them, and I'd actually won on the radio station. They're doing one of those like name that tune kind of contests.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna let whoever get it, or whoever's up against, beat me. So I just, out of the gate, I was like 1 second. I could name the song in 1 second. And you can only go in second increments. So the guy would have just had to have guessed or given me that 1 second, and I got it. There was nothing else matters. The S&M version. And so I won and got to go to the Cow Palace and see like a private invite only show, and it was actually really fucking cool. I was all decked out in my Suicidal Tendencies gear and was at the section that Rob was mostly at, and that dude is a fucking beast. I love that guy. Rob Tree is a monster, and he's probably one of the greatest living bass players today.
I mean, I really, I'm kind of out of my element, so I don't really. I could tell you, one bass player that I always envied. I don't know his name, but he was the original bassist for Chevelle, and I thought a lot of the riffs that he did in like Chevelle's earlier work was pretty good. I mean, I'm kind of into like the music as far as like the instrumentation and stuff, more so than like obviously the lyrics, but I really don't have a wide palette. I haven't been to a lot of concerts, but I forgot what the guy's name was. The bassist for Chevelle, because I think they replaced him, but the original bassist, I think he was pretty good. He had a lot of interesting ways that he played the bass. Played a lot of like off, I guess, when I say off bass, like, forgive me, but like, instead of like, because the bass and like percussion normally tend to like arrange the beat of the music together, so he would play like off bass, I guess. So like on a down note he would strum, you know what I mean? So like, I don't play guitar, but it's like if the beat is 1 2 3 4 and your bass riff is bum 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 bum, right? So it's basically a 2-part movement, right? So he would play like off bass, so like off the step. So as the percussion's playing, and then coming off that note, he would be playing on the up tune of that note. And he also played like a lot of like triplet bass notes too, which I found particularly interesting because
that's Steve Harris's style.
Yeah, because like traditionally, a lot of
who
music
also is one of the
two-
greatest bassists living today.
Who's that?
Steve Harris,
Steve Harris.
bassist for Iron Maiden. Like
Mm.
the founding member of Iron Maiden.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I pay attention to that stuff. I just I couldn't tell you as far as bassists go. Uh, I'll be honest, like the past shit, dude. I don't think I've really bought as many albums these past 5-6 years. So this is 2020 going on 2022.
Well, who buys albums anymore?
Well, I mean, yes, you're right, but
You know, you just go to your Spotify, your YouTube Music, your whatever the fuck, and you'll stream it now. I still buy albums because I want to directly, try to support the artists, or for particular bands, I should say, or just for my collectability. Like the Tool albums, they know that the world's going to streaming, so their hard albums, the physical albums, are artwork.
right. Right, but I mean, I think the reason that I guess what I'm saying is I don't keep the catalog updated. There's a lot of artists that I listen to, and when I had a lot more free time, if they came out with something new, then I was like on the scene, downloading it and adding it to the library, and then taking, like, let's say this Metallica album comes out, I listen to it 2 or 3 times. I find some of the songs I like, then I put them in the playlist. I put them in like my Metallica playlist, right? And this is back when I used to like really audit my iTunes library. So then I would just basically open that, because you can open that directory where that playlist is, and all those things are saved either in MP3 or M4A format, and I can just drag and drop them onto my phone, which is plugged into my computer. So needless to say, like the music that I listen to are just like my favorite playlists that are on my Galaxy, but they haven't been updated for like 5 or 6 years. Like there's albums I've purchased in those past 5 or 6 years because, like you, I want to support the artist, but at the same time, I haven't put the time into it. I used to be like an iTunes like Nazi, man. I used to go through and put the genre in or the subgenre, and like it's just, but at this point, like you just have too much music and not enough time, I suppose. So yeah, I don't know, but I would say that I will say, going back on that earlier thing, that I'm gonna go back. Death Magnetic was a pretty solid album. I didn't listen to Hardwired to self-destruct. I think I like listened through it once. Just nothing really caught me. Obviously, Saint Anger wasn't that good. But here we are, and you're going to watch Metallica live, which is, if you're watching the show, is...
Well, they're doing it for it's their 40-year celebration kind of thing. So, it's not going to be like going to a concert after they release a new album. They're playing their greatest hits, so to speak. So obviously leaving out all the garbage from, well,
Load, Reload, Saint Anger.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
well, if that's the case, that's going to be a long stream. That's going to be like a 4-hour stream if they're playing like all their hits.
Well, they're not playing everything. They're just doing, they did 2 nights of concert, 2 different set lists. I don't remember, but I think the first one opened with Hit the Lights and went into Creeping Death, and I don't remember everything they played, but a lot of the older stuff, some of the newer stuff, like a good concert. So I want to see it this time because I had forgotten about it on Friday, and we ended up missing it. So got to see it tonight.
That's an interesting aspect about did you see that story they did about 4 years ago when they were talking about how essentially like Metallica is like bankrupt, and they were talking about like how Metallica, they actually did like interviews. It was the drummer Lars, right, and somebody else. It wasn't, but they were talking about how like when they first started and they were trying to make it big, and then now they they built their brand name, and at this point it's like they can't stop touring and they can't stop making music because now Metallica is essentially like a corporation. So they're so big, right? And they have so many people that they've hired to, obviously, marketing, media, roadies, all that shit. They have so many people that they have on salary supporting them as the band that they can't stop touring and they can't stop making records because they just, I don't know, that like the way they explained it, and I saw this like 4 years ago. It was pretty interesting. It was kind of sad. It was kind of sad. Like, you're like, oh, dude, I'm Metallica. You know what? We're done. Yeah, I'm just gonna retire. But they don't have any. They don't have anything in the savings. You know what I mean? And so now they're just like basically living, tour to tour, album to album, and it was just kind of sad. Did you hear that? Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about that because I know I don't think that's completely true.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last I think James I don't know it was James was moving out of California. I don't remember now. But I've had a long history with Metallica, so yeah, I wanted to see the show. I've been following them for most of those 40 years.
With James went into rehab this year, didn't he?
No, this was years ago. He went to rehab.
I thought he went to rehab again.
Did he?
Well, I really did. Hold up. So Lars Ulrich opens up about James Hetfield's return. So this was in November of 2020, and so yeah, he just recently. Because I remember he they're talking about they canceled a bunch of concerts, so yeah, he's back out of rehab. I think he went into rehab for alcohol. I think that's what he went in for.
Well, yeah, he's been fighting that demon for quite a while.
Well, I don't know. Like normally rehab is it's alcohol or drugs, right? It's one or the other. So I don't know if it was that or it was both, but. Yeah, he just got out of rehab not too long ago, and yeah, you know what I actually think when I'm done with the podcast, I will. It's on Amazon, right? Amazon Prime.
Yep, Amazon Prime. It's free.
I'll check it out. Maybe they'll do an awesome Jingle Bells rendition or something. 40 years, huh? In fact, hold on. Let me text our mutual friend. Let me make sure he's tracking. Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright, well shit. So what else we got going on besides the Metallica concert tonight?
Nothing. That's the plan. It's gonna take 2.5 hours.
Mm.
But yeah, that was good stuff, man. That was actually Metallica was my first concert. One of the first concerts I snuck out to.
Yeah, for those of you paying attention to our little music, I don't want to say rivalry, but I did tell him earlier that Metallica's not metal because everything
Metallica was the original metal.
Because everything I seem to listen to, it doesn't even matter. Like, what was the last thing I said? And you're like, or no, you said something, and I said, yeah, that's not metal.
Korn. Pink Floyd. I sent you. Pink
Floyd song. It was Pink Floyd, and I like Pink Floyd, I really do. And the funny part is, I had never heard that song, and it was funny. It's like I looked it up because the song was posted on YouTube like 5-6 years ago, and I was like, I don't remember hearing this, so I went to go look up their newer shit, and then I was like, dude, when did they? And it was like 77 when that song came out, and I was just like, wow,
yeah, that was a good fucking song, right?
It was all right. Yeah, like I said, it was awesome. Like it was just interesting. Like they just have interesting songs. Did you they had that?
And we're talking about the song "Sheep," by the way.
Sheep, yes, we were talking about the song "Sheep." Just you randomly sent it to me out of nowhere. Like, so either you felt that it applied to me, or you were sharing it with me because you experienced something good, and you just so to this day I don't know if you're just calling me a sheep, or which, whatever, fuck you too, but
no, I just thought you'd enjoy the video.
I didn't watch I didn't watch the video. I was listening to it while I was like doing something. That's normally what I do.
You got to watch the video.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me see if I got it. Hold on.
Should be in Discord messages.
Was it Discord? I thought it was.
Nope, Discord.
Okay. If it's in Discord, I got it then. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because the thing is, I normally listen to stuff on YouTube. I don't normally watch stuff on YouTube, so. But oof. You know what I have been listening to a lot lately, and I could not tell you why. Chicago. Did you ever listen to Chicago?
Peter Cetera, Chicago?
All of Chicago, from the 60s till the
not really.
No, not
I'm
really.
Not familiar with the works, but...
Well, yeah, so, as you know, Chicago's not metal, so let's just get that out of the way, but, yeah, I was, like, sitting there, and I was recollecting my childhood, and in the middle of work, wasn't actually busy. That's what happens when I'm not busy. I start thinking about shit. And I was thinking of the songs that, like, I remember listening to growing up as a kid in, like, the 80s and 90s. So I started, like, finding them on YouTube, and I realized, you know, this is Chicago, and this is Chicago, and this is Chicago. So I went and I basically found, like, somebody had created a Chicago YouTube playlist, and I listened to that today while I was cleaning. And I listened to that when I was at work. And the funny thing is, like, I was playing the Chicago playlist at work, and somebody's like, "What is that, the Deadpool playlist?" And I was just kind of, I was like, I guess this could be a Deadpool playlist, I guess. Like, I don't remember the movie too well, but no, this is Chicago. And then I just realized, like, how awesome they are. And then I was thinking how they have, like, hits in every fucking decade, which not a lot of artists, I mean, probably Metallica does. Probably, is it Black Sabbath, or who's that other band you listen to? They probably do up until a certain point, right? Right.
Say again?
Well, bands that have, like, hits throughout the decades, right? Like, they're around, like, Chicago's been around since the 60s, right? So they've been around. I mean, I don't even know if all the band members are still alive, but I would imagine most of them are. So I imagine Chicago, might as well look it up. But I challenge you, sir. Just go, like, the thing is, the little bit of Chicago that I knew was Chicago, and then, like, all these other songs they played, especially in the 80s, like the 80s Chicago, because I grew up in the 80s listening to, like, the 60s and 70s Chicago. In the 80s, I didn't really listen to that, you know, and so later, obviously now, I'm listening to music that were, like, hits by this band 40 years ago. It was really nice. It was really refreshing. Peter Cetera. Holy shit, they got a lot of members. There's no way that... Okay. Rock and roll band with horns, elements of classical music, jazz, R&B, pop. Numerous top 40 hits over 2 decades. Continued. Okay, so they continue to record and perform. How do they say over 2 decades? What are you talking about? They've been around since fucking 67. And they're still live. Yeah, hey, after Metallica, or, you know, sometime during the day tomorrow, when you find yourself doing what your physical therapy, dude, like, just put on some Chicago playlist and just enjoy. They got a lot of good stuff, and they're not metal. So, what is that? What are you doing right now?
That was like the kind of Marge Simpson grumble.
For what? I thought you liked good music. I didn't think you were racist. I didn't think you only listened to metal. Jesus Christ, get over yourself.
Metal.
I didn't think you were bassist. Oh shit. How's your therapy coming along, dude? Can you walk yet?
With a cane. It sucks.
Are we getting past the cane anytime soon?
Not if my leg keeps buckling.
That
I can deal with it at this point, but it just keeps buckling, and so like around the house, I don't use the cane, but I also have walls and furniture and everything right there to catch me if I fall. And but if I'm out, I've got to use the cane, especially now with the snowing and being icy and whatnot. I still don't have the best balance with my right leg, so
I forgot that it snows up there. Is it pretty bad right now? It's pretty mild though, right? It should be pretty mild.
and it's not too bad today. Today actually was nice. It didn't snow. Yesterday it warmed up enough that it rained and got rid of a lot of the snow. But that's gross. It's a gross habit, sir.
Sorry. To segue off of that, I have these super multivitamins I eat and my nails grow, and I gotta like clip them every like 3 or 4 days. It's crazy. I'll inbox you those multivitamins if you want them. They'll probably make your knee not buckle anymore, and you'll probably be like,
send it. Let me know. I'm starting a new vitamin regimen. I'm supposed to. And I've got it ordered and it's supposed to arrive this week. But I'm supposed to start taking krill oil.
Got you.
Vitamin K2.
Never heard of it.
It
sounds like potassium too.
It's in the K family, but it's different. I'm not exactly sure, but it helps with I guess all sorts of inflammation and stuff, and inflammation and blood issues and whatnot, blood clotting, and whatchamacallit, turmeric.
Okay, that's actually it's a spice.
Yeah.
What is that?
However, the spice turmeric is typically not to say lower quality, but it doesn't have as much of the whatever chemical that's good for you in it as compared because of the way it's processed or something like that versus the stuff that is processed specifically for that chemical versus the flavor. That makes I don't know. Also, you're supposed to it has like a something about black pepper binds with it and helps that chemical disperse in your body better. So I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I can tell you, I take 3 things religiously. I take fish oils, and I take the fish oils that have like the omega-3s, so 6s and 9s. I take that multivitamin I was telling you about, and I take glucosamine chondroitin for my joints. So that's essentially what I take. I'm texting you this now on Discord as we speak. So, but I'm gonna have to look up this vitamin K2 though. I've never heard of this.
There's another one. I'm looking it up right now too. It's called
Preventing the blood clot, preventing excessive bleeding. Unlike other vitamins, vitamin K is not typically used as a dietary supplement. It's actually a group of compounds. The most important of these appears to be vitamin K1 and K2. K1 is obtained from leafy greens. K2 is a group of compounds obtained from meats, cheeses, eggs, and synthesized by bacteria. K2 is used to treat osteoporosis and steroid-induced bone loss, but research is conflicting. At this point, there's not enough data to recommend using K2 for osteoporosis. Why do people take vitamin K? So bleeding and clotting issues. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, okay, here's the other one. It's Cissus quadrangularis.
Fuck is that? Spell that.
CISSUS. And then quad angular is.
A perennial plant of the grape family. The devil's backbone, the adamant creeper. Interesting. Okay.
It has been used to treat many conditions, including hemorrhoids, gout, asthma, and allergies. Recent research found the Power Pack plant also helped promote bone health, relieve joint pain, and protect against chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and stroke.
I see all that. You know what that reminds me of? Like, did you take a lot of this stuff?
That might be good for you too, big guy.
Oh, dude, my hemorrhoid is still there.
Yeah, I don't want that looking at me when I see you next.
Well, the issue is, I mean, I might have to get surgery. I've been taking stuff to get rid of it, and it just really, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm happy where I am. That's what it is doing right now. So, but there's all these other use. It's just weird. So it says hemorrhoids, bone loss, allergies, asthma, diabetes. So it is a wide variety. So this is what CQR 300 brought significant reductions in weight and blood glucose levels while decreasing serum lipids, thus improving cardiovascular risk factors. So dude, this reminds me of some of the stuff my mom used to like make us take growing up, like St. John's wort, echinacea, grape seed extract. Dude, like my mom used to live in that one superstore. Like I forgot what it was. In that superstore, I think it was called Sun Valley. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound right? They just used to have like an entire two aisles, but one aisle and both sides of that aisle was nothing but extracts of plants from Europe and the Middle East that apparently we weren't getting enough of because we genetically engineered grapes to not have seeds, so we needed grape seed extract, or we weren't living off the land, so we didn't get echinacea or St. John's wort or like a lot of things. My mom used to just, and I hated it. I still hate it. I will try something, but I'm not going to try a lot of things, right? Like right now on my plate, there are like, oh, it's right here. Actually, as a matter of fact, you got the camera up. You can see me. So this is my pill case, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. So I have basically 12 days worth of pills, right? So I open it up, and I have a multivitamin. I have
that's your breakfast.
No, I eat these throughout the day. So like, let's see, in one day I have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. I have 11 pills. 11 pills. But I don't take them all at once, or I don't even split. I split them up throughout the day. So the fish oils I'll have 3 different times of the day. The multivitamins I'll have for breakfast and I'll have before I go to bed. And the joint pills I'll have throughout the day as well. And then my allergy pill, which I'll take before I go to bed too. So like, I spread the shit throughout the day, but I just keep them in here, and then, you know, I load them up. Once they're all empty, I load them up, and then I put them in my lunchbox. Boom. And I go to work. I pull up my lunch. I pop this bad boy open. I'm like, okay, I took my multivitamin. Now I need to take my joint pill and a fish oil. Boom. Done. Back in there. And at this point, it's brainless, right? So that's all I take. I take fish oils. I take multivitamins, and I take joint pills. That's it.
Look into the krill oil. I know that supposedly that's got more whatever the fuck.
So krill oil. Hold on. Let me. It has basically. It has the omega 3s, right? But I also take pills that have the 6s and the 9s with it too, right? So 6s and 9s are also going to be coming from like your flaxseed and your flaxseed and chia seeds, like stuff like that, because you need all of those. So
that's something I've actually been doing as well, is chia seed. Not particularly fond of it because they tend to not digest all the way, but I don't think that's the purpose of it. I think that's just to help with appetite suppressing, as an appetite suppressant, because it swells up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take a scoop of those and throw it in my iced tea, let it sit a minute, and it'll like swell up with my mint tea, and I'll drink that down, and it's just
those have two purposes, and one is the fiber, and the other is the fatty acids, the fatty stuff that they provide. So
if they manage to be digested, and you don't end up shitting out a bunch of seeds.
So normally, like the seeds themselves, I didn't take them. The Miz has taken them, and usually I just threw it in like a smoothie that I made. So I make like a smoothie and I just throw them in there. I mean, did they do what they were supposed to do? I don't know. I just take the pills that already have like the oil. Let me double check before I pull this shit out of my ass. But so we have flax seeds and we have chia seeds. Yeah, chia seeds is what I would. Bless you. Bless
Hail
you.
Satan.
Yeah, I don't know. I just take these ones. They have the 3 6s and 9s in them, and take them 3 times a day. But I will say that I think we could all stand to eat a little bit more fiber anyway. Fiber is pretty fucking important. I will say that I've also read studies that when it comes to chia seeds and flax seeds, that taking excess chia and flax can be bad for men, right? Because it goes along the lines of, it has like what is the term they use for it? It's basically anti like testosterone, so it's like androgenic or something, or anti-androgenic, or I forget what the terminology is, but eating too much of that, kind of like soy. So like Japanese culture, people tend to eat a lot of soy, and as a result, like the men tend to be, you know, more feminine than any other men, because they suppress their testosterone levels eating a lot of soy. And so what I've read is things like yogurt, things like chia, things like flax, eating too much of that will kind of give you the same effect as eating a lot of soy. So I would read on that, and I would caution you to just probably not eat as much, or maybe talk to your physician about it, because that's yeah.
I actually also was told I need to eat more red meat.
Yes, why not, dude? You're all about that tri-tip, right?
Well, yes, but I've actually been told I do need to eat more red meat, because the iron supplements that you get aren't as, you're not getting all that iron. Most of it you're shitting out.
Yeah, dude, it depends on which iron supplement you get, because they have different iron compounds that...
Yeah. And like, Centrum is pretty much just a waste. I mean, they're not lying to you because there's, X amount of iron, whatever they
Correct.
say on the label is there, but your body doesn't absorb it and just shit it out.
And part of it has to do when you take it, what you're taking it with. Like,
Yeah.
if someone
But
were to
I was
ask
told
me,
I was told I need more grass fed beef.
grass, okay, hold up, I have not heard this. So, I obviously know what I've actually seen it, right? I've seen studies where they take the beef and it's corn fed and it's grass fed, and you look at like the marbling in the beef when they butcher it, and you could tell a difference, right? But as to which one, okay, explain to me because I am lost. I've seen what obviously probably the grass fed is going to taste better because of the marbling versus the corn fed, and it's going to cost more too. But what is the nutritional difference? Like, I really don't know. A gram of protein is a gram of protein. A gram of fat is a gram of fat, as far as I'm concerned. What is your doctor telling you?
I'm just saying it. So the grass fed, I guess. I don't know all the science and shit behind it. It's just that whatever they feed them is or whatever you're getting. Like they'll feed them the soy slop or corn slop and just leftover byproducts. But having like the grass fed, I guess essentially free range cows that are slaughtered. Which fortunately, where I'm at, there's a lot of people selling meat like that at farmers markets and whatnot. They've got their pasture, they got their cows, and then they bring them in for dinner.
I don't. I've had this discussion with my dad, but it was about eggs. Okay, I didn't actually have this discussion with anybody about grass fed versus corn fed, but like his thing was about. It's a funny side story. So I was at his house. I was on leave for an extended time, and he was complaining that I was eating his eggs because I would make like an omelet, or I would make some eggs over easy for breakfast, and I would eat them. I'd drink a beer, and then in 20 minutes I go for a jog. That was like my thing. It was great, dude. Like that's like retired life. Like you're on 30 days of vacation. You wake up every morning, you eat 6 eggs, you drink a beer, and then you go for a jog. It was great. Um, but he was saying like, no, 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 no. Like I bought a bunch of eggs to replace the eggs. And he's like, no, you need to go buy the eggs that you used. So I went and I bought them, and of course they're expensive. And he normally uses eggs to make his own noodles because he's like tries to make as much of his own food as possible. Um, but he's giving me like this whole spill on cage-free, grass-fed, or whatever chickens, and I was just like, dude, I'm just doing it for the protein. Like you could tell me that it's got more of this or more of that, and at this point, I'll be honest, Darian, I don't even eat the entire egg now. So now I just buy a carton, 5 dozen eggs, and I crack it. I put the whites in a glass, and then I put the yolks in the dog bowl, and the dogs get the yolks. So I mix it in with their dog food, and it's actually pretty healthy for the dogs too, by the way.
Good for their coat.
It is, yes, absolutely. But yeah, I would love to see some kind of research showing, like you have one dude and he's eating the grass fed, and you have another one that's eating the corn fed, and seeing, I guess, I don't know, whose hair comes out, whose nails come out, who's leaner, who's fatter. I don't know, dude. Like, that's actually pretty interesting. As far as the cow is concerned, we know how the cow comes out. But at the end state is, I guess, macros and then micros, right? So your micros are going to be like your vitamin A's, your zincs, your vitamin K's, and your macros are going to be your fats, your carbs, your proteins. That is very interesting. I got my brain just buzzing thinking about it. It's okay. So grass-fed beef. What about pork? Pork is full of micros. You didn't get anything on pork? You're not told to eat more
Nope.
pork?
Nope.
It's interesting though because pork is like, pigs are like the cleanup animals. Those are the ones where, I mean, you're talking about all this shit they throw. Like, normally, pigs can eat anything. And because pigs can eat anything, like, their meat tends to have, like, more iron. It tends to have more vitamin D, more vitamin A. Like, all the micronutrients that your body needs tends to be more prevalent in pork. Whereas, like, there are some things in meat, like...
pro tip about the pigs that eat everything: they won't digest the human teeth. So if you're doing that whole what was that movie?
Silence of the Lambs?
No, it was with Brad Pitt when he was the gypsy. Fuck.
Well, there was the Silence of the Lambs one where they fed the dude to the pigs, yeah, where he was still alive, and those wild pigs ate him, right?
I don't remember that in Silence of the Lambs.
No, it wasn't the original one. It was like part of the series, right? Didn't they have like... Oh my gosh.
I don't know, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. Let me look
Lock,
it up.
Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels or something like that.
Oh.
And the guy's, the guy's got the pig farm, or not, maybe not a gypsy if you're referring to Romani gypsies, but the Irish caravanners.
Okay.
But there's the one criminal guy who had the pig farm, and so anyhow, yeah, just know that if you ever decided to do that, they don't dissolve, they don't digest the teeth and so on. So.
Okay, so it was part of the Silence of the Lambs, and there was a guy that got eaten up by pigs, but he was still alive, I think. I think that was Red Dragon. I have to verify that, but Lock, Stock,
I don't remember that in Red Dragon either.
Yeah,
which was actually my favorite book of all those.
I didn't read any of the books. Huh. But yeah, pork is really good in micros. I think chicken, hands down as far as the chicken goes, though chicken is the best in the macros. So if you're looking for...
I'm just telling you what the fuck I'm told to eat. And that's grass-fed beef.
So
I'm not going to sit here and eat pork and chicken and stuff like that.
I'm not saying that. So your doctor didn't tell you anything about fish? Didn't tell you anything about chicken?
Nope.
Nothing. Okay. All right. Well, sucks to be you because beef's really expensive.
Especially grass-fed beef.
Do you have any stipulations? Does it have to be like Kobe beef? Does it have to be... What is that other fancy beef? Wagyu. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Just grass-fed?
No, grass-fed.
You know what? I went to the supermarket quite a few months ago, and they had like reduced... they have like reduced sale ground beef, like obviously it's close to the expiration date, so they're just trying to get rid of it. They had ground Wagyu beef.
Then you scooped it up?
I did. But it was just interesting that I actually thought that they would ground up Wagyu instead of trying to sell it as like maybe fajita meat or, something where it's a little more desirable than being just ground beef. It was just interesting. But yes, they made great burgers. Everybody was happy. Okay.
Well, we're getting close to that time for.
We are.
You got that music in the background. The lights are on, and everybody's filing in and fighting their way to the front of the pit. And I had all these Metallica stories, like on their Black album, on their tour for that. That's when they started doing reserve seating, so there was no pit for the audience anymore, and there's only one spot in the center of the stage, the snake pit, they called it. And I got to see one of their shows from the snake pit, which was pretty awesome. All the little whiny ass bitches who, flirted with somebody to get their ticket, or some guy was taken with that concert, Oh, I got snake pit tickets. I'll take you to this. But you know, my buddy and I turned the snake pit, into as much of a pit as we could. That was long ago, before all my back problems and neck problems, and I still had my long hair. I'm beginning to think that all these issues are related to cutting my hair, because I was in great health up until I cut my hair 20 some years ago.
So basically, you're Samson, and you hung out with a Delilah.
Yep, that must be it.
I will say, I just find it unfortunate that I actually never got to meet your acquaintance while you were with long hair. I never met you with long hair. Never happened. Sad. Are you growing it out now?
No.
Well, what the Jesus, man? Grow it out.
I thought about it, but it's a little bit too thin right there up on top.
Dude,
to do it right.
So, just do it. It gets long enough, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters.
No. My old man grew his hair out for a while, and he's got like a spot where he's kind of, but he grew it out anyway, and kudos to him.
It's different when you have a bald spot in the back that is actually covered by all the long hair. From slightly, the receding hairline and thinning at the top and front, that's, all thin hair. When you grow it out long, then it looks just like a mess.
Well, then fucking get the implants done, dude. Technology's come a long way since like the fucking 90s.
I need Elon Musk's hair guy. What the fuck?
Yes, there you go. Fucking DM Elon Musk.
But yeah, so I had that. But the big thing was, I used to run into James Hetfield at the Cow Palace gun shows all the time.
Really? He's a gun guy?
And he was a big gun guy. I think he still is. I think that was one of the reasons he left California.
I honestly, dude, I think I saw something where he was just kind of, there was like another school shooting. It was like a couple of years ago where he was openly up against, like, he wasn't against guns, but he was calling for legislation. I really think he's not a whatchamacallit, the other guy. Definitely not the other guy. You know what I'm talking
Ted
about.
Nugent?
Yes, that guy. He's not that guy. And he's not the
Well, Ted
guy.
Nugent's fucking crazy. I fucking remember,
dude,
seeing a video from Ted Nugent from back in, I don't know, like in the 80s or something like that. And it was a bow hunting guide, a bow hunting video. Like, first thing you got to do is grow your hair out long. If you got short, if you cut your hair, the deer will smell you, or something like that. And I remember an article about him talking about being in a limo on tour or something, and having to have the limo driver pull over so he could take a shit, and the cops caught him, and he had to like pick up his shit and pack it away.
He seems like a guy you would be more adept to hanging out with.
Yeah, I'd hang out with him.
I mean, not for the music though.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
Not to party, because allegedly he's straight edge and no drugs or alcohol, and
well, he can't. Like, once you actually go through rehab, you have to change.
No, I'm talking about Ted Nugent.
I know.
He never went to rehab.
Well, okay, are you going to tell me that the entire time that he was a performer that he didn't fucking do anything?
That's what his claim is. He's been straight edge for, it was fairly well known way back in the day. He didn't do drugs and drink. He didn't party. Well, let me rephrase. He didn't party with those substances. He'd like fuck all the groupies, I guess. I don't know. But
well, kudos to him, but yeah, like, that stuff is a lifestyle. That whatever. Doesn't matter if it's marijuana, doesn't matter if it's alcohol. That stuff is a lifestyle. If you have like a unhealthy addiction to it, you have to change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But James Hetfield.
Yes.
That motherfucker. He was a cool dude back then. I'd really actually be interested in talking to him now. But he used to go to the Cow Palace gun shows all the time, when they were still, well, I stopped working. Cow Palace stopped having those shows, in the 90s or whatever. But I saw him up through like Injustice.
Did you say Cow Pal? Is that what it is?
Cow Palace. It's a venue in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have concerts there. They'd have, but it was primarily like I think they used to do cattle auctions there, and when California was still more of an agricultural state.
When it was still like actually liberal.
Yeah, really liberal, not today's modern liberal.
Not authoritarian leftism.
But yeah, he was a cool fucking dude, and I just that was he actually thinking about it, he was one of my first like rock star contacts, and I was just like in awe when he came by our booth, but I just played it as cool as I could, and
yeah,
kind of, yeah,
we straight. Oh my god.
Pretty much.
Oh shit. Well, we got to get off of here really soon. I'm sorry that we're cutting into your story time. Dude, give us the word. Give us the word. The bird is the word. Final word. We can get the fuck out of here. Go watch some Metallica because
Lars Ulrich is a fucking cunt. And metal up your ass, and don't forget taxation is theft.
Oh, well said, sir. Well said. Next week, by the way, next week is
and I guess Merry Christmas.
Yeah, next week is Merry Christmas. Are you gonna be able to do Monday? You gonna be or
like in 2 days, like tomorrow, Monday?
No, like the 27th, or like the after Christmas.
Christmas
is on
Saturday. We'll discuss that offline.
All right. Well, get out of here. Go spend some time with your honey, and I'm gonna go turn on the TV and watch some Metallica, I suppose. I wasn't gonna do it, but you sold me, sir. You sold me.
It starts streaming in about like 10 minutes or something.
Oh, I thought you said at 40. Okay, that's when you had to be off. That's cool. All right, we'll get off, turn it on. But ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching it, hopefully you seen it by the time you seen this podcast. So thank you for tuning in, all 20 something of you people. We are going to. We actually started migrating our podcast to Apple. So we'll be dropping the link for our Apple podcast page.
Delete your social media.
Well, yes, sure, absolutely. Maybe next week we'll talk about that again, because it's funny you say that. But if you could, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, follow, or whatever. Share the video, and leave a comment, good or bad. Get back to you.
Tweet, retweet,
and then delete your social media.
Share on Instagram, add it to your stories, do a TikTok dance.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I don't have a TikTok, thank God.
What? You're supposed to be a social media manager. You're slacking there. You got to start doing TikTok dances.
No, we got to hire somebody. We got to hire somebody that knows way more about that stuff than I do. Somebody that like lives off of that. So
and has tits.
Yes, definitely. Well,
tits get hits.
Identifies as a female.
No, has tits. Tits get hits.
Even dude
tits.
Tits
gets hits.
Dudes. Like
I don't know if they look good enough. And they look, they're pushed together and
man tits never look good. Never. Like you have female tits, they can look good, they can look bad, but they're still female tits. And then you have man tits, and if they're pecs, then they're not tits. But if they're tits and they're on a dude, they definitely don't look good. Maybe a side boob like might look good on a dude if you knew it wasn't a dude and it was like a close up and you're like, ooh, side boob, but gynecomastia is not a joking matter, sir. But with that being said, I'm Jake.
I'm Drake.
This is Jake Drake Show. Hopefully we'll see you next week.